Yo, yo, what's up? Coming back at ya. You know how I do. Let's just get right into it, man. What I want to talk about today is Lilith. Lilith. Some of y'all may know who that is. Some of y'all may not. I'll try to give a brief history on what some of the information that I found. But I want to talk about Lilith. And I hear a lot of people talking about Lilith, and they have a lot of different type of definitions and things like that. And I want to share with you the definition that I have and give you an idea of who she is and why I'm even bringing this up. Okay. So first of all, Lilith was they say was the first wife of Adam. Okay. Before Adam and Eve, it was Adam and Lilith. And Lilith was pretty much just a bad bitch. You know what I'm saying? She was a boss and got kicked out of paradise pretty much. You know what I'm saying? She refused to submit. So this is what I have. By refusing to submit, Lilith incurred the wrath of God and fled to the Red Sea, where she was cast from paradise forever and became the succubus, the breeder of evil spirits, and the child-murdering monster of the night. So that's who Lilith is. Every time you read something about Lilith, you're probably going to hear primordial, very old, ancient energy, just wild, you know, in the forest and things like that. Matter of fact, give me 1 second. Let me get... This is a great book to have if you don't have it, Encyclopedia of Spirits, okay? Let me read what they say that Lilith is. So I really want you guys to get an idea. For those who never heard of her, I'm not going to read it all. But here we go. All right, so Lilith. No spirit possesses a more fabulous history than Lilith among the primordial of spirits and the most modern. Few, if any, are more powerful than her. Her earliest appearance in recorded history is in Sumeria, where she somehow associated with Inanna. Also identified as a wind spirit, Lilith has profound association with trees. She is a wild, free spirit who cannot be chained or contained. Where am I at? In the Sumerian myth of the Hulepu tree, Inanna makes the transition to an urban settled agriculture environment. When she investigates the chopping down of the sacred tree, Lilith calls home. Lilith flees, remaining a spirit of the wilderness. Okay, so let me give you some other stuff because this is going to tie in. The Kabbalists identify Lilith as the spouse of Samuel, chief of the evil angels. On the other hand, Lilith also reputedly sits at Yahweh's side in heaven, his consort following the exile of Shekinah, and thus most powerful intercessor of all, literally able to whisper in God's ear. Okay. Jewish legend identifies Lilith as Adam's first wife, which we just talked about. The true first female, created not from Adam's rib, but from earth simultaneously with him. Adam and Lilith's relationship quickly became contentious. She refused to take direction from him, specifically refusing to lie beneath him during sex, yada, yada, yada. So I'm not going to keep going with that, but y'all kind of get the idea of who Lilith was. If you didn't know who she was, now you kind of have an idea. If you did, I didn't tell you anything that you didn't already know. All right. So you can see that her origins are kind of in ancient Sumeria. And then what I told you was the Jewish version by her being Adam's first wife. And that's also something they mentioned in the book as well. Okay. And all of that, you know, you need to know that. Okay. So I don't claim to know everything about astrology. Let's just say that. Okay. But Lilith is also in everyone's chart. Okay. So I'm always looking at my chart, blah, 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 and I'm looking at the Lilith, right? Your Lilith can be in Leo, or Lilith can be in Aquarius, or Lilith in Taurus, or whatever. It's on your chart. If you look at it, you'll see it, right? And I'm like, damn, why is this fucked up bitch on my chart? You feel me? Like, what's going on with that? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I really started looking into it. Like I said, I don't claim to be an expert in this, reading charts and astrology. I know a little bit, but there are people who know more than me. One of the best astrologers I know is on Instagram is the flight boss, bitch. For sure. If y'all know who I'm talking about, y'all know Dolo, man. He's one of the best. He's a fucking genius. I love Dolo, dog. Like, you're gonna have to know your shit when you listening to him, or he gonna lose. He gonna cross you up real quick. But I love Dolo, man. And shout out to him if he ever sees this, you know what I mean? But one thing that he talks about is that a lot of the information we get is wrapped up in Jewish mysticism. I'm not going to go into that heavy because I'm not an expert on that either. I understand what he's saying. You know what I mean? So basically they talk about how Jews run the world. They have their hands in everything and they have influence on everything. Business, politics, education, entertainment, religion, all of that shit has that Jewish mysticism in it. And what does that mean exactly? That means that whatever they think, whatever their ideas and feelings, thoughts and feelings are, you know, whatever their personal thoughts and feelings are, it's on everything. It's on business, politics, education, entertainment, religion. This is what Dolo talks about, okay? So, and all of that is important. So their view, their personalized view is pretty much on everything in the world. So that's why when I read about Lilith, they talk about in the Kabbalah, she's Adam's first wife, the motherfucker who didn't listen, who got cast aside to the Red Sea and all these things. You know, all that stuff matters. But what you got to understand is we're looking at the world through somebody else's perspective and we're hyping it. You know, we're putting our energy behind it and it's not even our own take on it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of stuff that he talks about. He talks about it with astrology as well. You know what I'm saying? So I've been looking at it, you know, in my chart. It's in your chart. If you have a chart, you do. It's on there. And I always wondered. I never really could understand this Lilith energy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a woman. You know what I mean? Not that you have to be to understand it, but I know some women who really vibe with that. You know, vibe with that energy and stuff like that, and X, Y, Z. But so I really was curious about it, man, and really, you know, went in, tried to tap in with it, and got some good information and stuff like that. So, you know, that's what that is. You know, when you hear about this person being Adam's first wife, understand that's somebody else's perspective of this energy and it's been pushed on you. And now you say it when you repeat it, when you Google it, when you're looking it up, you're using someone else's lens to explain an energy that's inside of you, that's inside of us all. You understand what I'm saying? So you get what I'm saying. All right. So, yeah. So that's that. So that's why, you know, I'm making this tape, man, because I really want to talk about that energy and what it is and what does it mean when you see Lilith on your chart. And I'm pretty sure everybody has an answer for it. You know what I mean? But I didn't want the Jewish mysticized answer of who Lilith is. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to understand it for myself. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. So if you think about it, if you know your chart, and I'll just be very basic, what I want to do is try to take something that's very abstract and all over the place and try to make it as linear as possible so that, you know, the mind can understand it. Now, nothing is linear, bro. Nothing is linear. All of this shit is all over the place. Our mind has to make shit linear just so we can try to understand the shit. But please know, nothing is linear. Time, all this shit is fake, man. So what I'm trying to do is bring this type of information and make it easy to understand. You know what I'm saying? So just rock with me on that. So, all right, when we talk about astrology, man, everybody talks about, we're going to keep it very basic. We're going to talk about your rising sign, your sun sign, and your moon sign. Very, very basic, okay? And I'm writing it down as I do it just because I like to keep my own notes. So whatever your rising sign is, I'm just going to make some shit up. Let's say your rising sign is in Scorpio, okay? If your rising sign is in Scorpio, Scorpio is going to come with that polarity. There's a positive about Scorpio. There's a negative about Scorpio, okay? That's your rising. Your sun sign is Pisces. Once again, there's a polarity when you talk about Pisces. There's a positive and there's a negative, right? When you talk about, and then let's say your moon sign was Taurus. There's a polarity. There's a positive and there's a negative, okay? So we understand that these signs are coming with polarities, okay? They could be looked at as positive or negative. They could also be looked at as male or female, okay? So let me bring it back to Lilith. Let's stop right there and bring it back to Lilith, okay? when we talk about Lilith and we read Lilith incurred the wrath of God. She fled to the Red Sea where she was cast from paradise forever. And she's this horrible person, a baby killer and all this shit. Okay. When we talk about everything matters, we're talking about, like, once again, flight boss information, thoughts and feelings. Okay. Thoughts and feelings. Thoughts are masculine. Feelings are feminine. Okay. Water is feminine, emotion. Fire is passion, like each, you know what I mean? So when I'm reading this, it says, by refusing to submit, Lilith incurred the wrath of God and fled to the Red Sea. Now, what I know is that Lilith ain't no real person. You know what I'm saying? That was like, yo, fuck you, Adam. We not doing all that shit. I'm out. They're speaking of an energy. And what they're trying to get you to understand is this energy fled to the Red Sea. All of that matters. Now, when we talk about the sea, which is water, we're talking about emotions. So this energy went to the emotion. We talk about red. What's red? Fire. Now we're talking about the passion. So the way I'm understanding this is that energy that did not submit to Adam, to man, to whatever you want to call it, fled to the Red Sea, fled to the passionate place of emotions. You know what I'm saying? Red is also could be looked at as your root chakra. So you have these ancient, primordial, feminine, dark energy. C, feminine, emotional energy. C, right? That's in your chakra, your red root chakra. Y'all following me? I know I'm saying a lot of shit, but you know what I'm saying? So this dark energy was banished to the Red Sea, right? To the lowest part in your chakra. You know what I mean? This primordial emotional energy is in your lowest red chakra. Okay. Yeah. So this energy is dark, right? And it's in your lowest chakra, your red chakra. If you don't, you know what red chakra is. I'm pretty sure y'all do. So let's just understand that about Lilith. Okay. That's that energy. Thoughts and feelings. They're saying that this energy was cast down. This emotional energy in the Red Sea, to me, they're talking about the lowest chakra, the most passionate energy that you have has been banished to the lowest chakra, okay? So we're talking about sex. We're talking about just your lowest chakra. And when I say low, I'm not talking in the term of good and bad. So anyways, follow me there. So now I'm talking about back to the rising sign, the sun, the moon. Whatever your rising sun and moon, being very basic, it has polarity of a positive and a negative. Also polarity of maybe a masculine and a feminine, right? Positive and negative. Negative, a lot of times, is just feminine energy. It's not bad. You see what I'm saying? So each one of these things, your rising sign, your moon sign, your sun sign, has a masculine, has a feminine. A masculine, a feminine, a masculine, a feminine, a positive, a negative, whatever you want to call it, okay? And that goes throughout your whole chart. You know, all the houses and all that stuff, it just flows there. There's always something there that says, hey, you're good at this, you might need to work on this. You know what I mean? So we're still looking at polarity, okay? And so as I'm looking at this polarity, I'm like, you know, if you are a Taurus and you're very good at values and you're secure, but you can also be materialistic. You know, the way I looked at my chart was, how can I clean up the negative shit? You know what I'm saying? How can I clean up those weaknesses? How can I be better in these areas that I'm not good in? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I went about my chart ever since I started looking at it, you know, from a youth or whatever. How can I start working on these negative pieces, these shadows almost? You know what I'm saying? With my own understanding, not with somebody else's understanding of an energy that's inside of me, that's inside of us all. And so that's why I'm reading you about what they talk about Adam's first wife and all that other kind of stuff. I mean, you could fuck around and be thinking these are real people and be fucked up for the rest of your life. This is energy that's inside of you. You see what I'm saying? So it's not so much about, you know, the stories and she's an evil bitch and a child murdering motherfucker and all that. I mean, that's somebody, Jewish mysticism, who runs everything, business, politics, education, entertainment, religion. That's their perspective on this energy. That's their perspective on this energy. And the more that we keep taking this shit literal, is the more out of your mind you're going to be whacked out. You're not really going to understand what it is. You feel what I'm saying? This is deep, dark energy that's inside of us. This is Mama Universe energy that's inside of all of us. You see what I'm saying? And so as I'm looking at my chart, I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to clean up these negative aspects of self, you know, blah, blah, blah. But then when I started breaking it down, I'm like, damn, why is all the negative shit, you know, linked with emotions and feminine? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. You know, we talking about Mama Universe and she's the best, but every time I hear something about Lilith, which is supposed to be the darkest primordial, they treating this motherfucker like she ain't shit. You feel what I'm saying? And that's when I'm like, oh, that's that Jewish view. And it's not so much about Jewish, it's just not your own shit, but they run everything. So they're giving you this view of this dark primordial energy to be ain't shit. You feel what I'm saying? It's supposed to be ain't shit energy. But that's the shit that we're going home to, dog. That's that chaos shit. That's that triple black. That's us. And so this whole time, every time I hear something about Liz, they dogging this bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but as I'm doing my shit, I'm like, yo, this sounds like Mama Universe. Chaos energy can't be contained. Wild, doesn't submit. And we all have that inside of us. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the shit that's getting activated right now. That's the shit that's getting activated. As we keep going and you keep seeing the world getting fucked up and doing all this stuff, but that chaos energy is should be getting activated in you if you've been doing your work. Okay? So when I'm looking at the polarities, I'm like, damn, all the negative shit is like the feminine shit. And I was like, I don't understand that. Then I started thinking, like, what is Lilith? You know what I mean? Lilith is like the big boss in the video game. You know what I mean? Lilith is the ultimate shadow, bro. That Lilith energy is the ultimate shadow. So every time you go to a sign, let's say Libra, what do they say good about Libra? Friendly relationships. What do they say bad? Liar, always no backbone, try to make everyone happy, okay? My sun sign is a Libra, okay? So we talk about those negative aspects, and I was looking at those negative aspects, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to clean that up. I look at my rising, I look at the negative, I'm trying to clean that up. I look at my moon, trying to clean it up, trying to, you know, whatever. But every time I looked at Lilith, when you read your Lilith, it kind of should make you cringe, right? Because it's like, I really don't want to be doing that shit. And then I'm looking, I'm like, yo, but that's what every polarity that's negative in my chart, it all goes back to a piece of that Lilith. Are y'all following me? You feel what I'm saying? Like you have to have been doing your work or know a ton of shit, you know what I mean, to really, really feel where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? Just really understand. Like, seem like every time that if you got your Aquarius rising, you know what I'm saying, Libra sun, you know what I mean, Libra moon, all those traits, those weaknesses, it's not really weaknesses. Those negative traits are just feminine traits. And if you go back and you read your Lilith and you look at everything you're supposed to clean up throughout your whole chart, all the houses, you know, Leo in the 5th house, you know, Cancer in the 6th house, whatever the case may be, all of those are just the shadows. That's that primordial energy. And it seems like they all link back to a piece of the Lilith. You see what I'm saying? I mean, mess with me on that, family. You know what I'm saying? If y'all see it like that or whatever, I'm just sharing my perspective. But I really was thinking about that. I'm like, damn, everything I'm trying to do, that feminine aspect of every polarity goes back to that ultimate femininity that we have in us, that ancient shit. And that's that Lilith. That's that Lilith. That Lilith is casting a shadow on each one of your houses, on each one of your rising suns and moons, all that stuff. You feel me? Yo, that shit was crazy to me because I never understood. I would read Lilith. I'm looking at my shit now. I'm like, what the fuck? But I'm looking at it like, oh, yeah, I don't even like that shit. You know what? Why would I even? But now I get it because when I can read it and I look at something else, I'm like, oh, shit. That's kind of that. So I've been doing my shadow work for so long. Hopefully you have too. You know what I'm saying? As you start to clean those shadows up, then it's only one fucking shadow left. And that's that Lilith. And you ain't finna try to clean up the Lilith. That's Mama Universe energy. You gonna merge with that shit. And that's what they don't want us to do, right? After you become the completed man, there's that There's that Lilith energy, that huge shadow that's been casting pieces of shadow on your whole shit that requires you to do the shadow work. You feel me? Like this shit, after you do the shadow work, after I did my shadow work, this shit was staring at me. I was like, holy shit, I see it now. Like it was completely clear now. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to make me think of Lilith as this crazy motherfucking all this shit I don't want to fuck with. But in the whole time it's Mama Universe, and you see how they be doing her. You feel what I'm saying? But she's been casting the shadows on your whole chart. And you've been going through, hopefully trying to clean those up. I mean, I know I have. I speak for myself. I have. And then when I clean them up, so to speak, I'm like, damn, the only one left is Lilith. And I will never try to disrespect Mama Universe. What do you do with Mama? You feel me? So I thought that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just kind of looking at it, that's kind of what I got from it. You know what I mean? Like, this is why in that Jewish mysticism, who controls our business, politics, education, entertainment, religion, shout out Dolo for that. They control all of that shit, and they've been turning you against this motherfucker since forever. But we all have that energy in our chart, bro. We all have it. We all have it. We all have it. If you have your chart, read it. Read it. Read it and understand that's the big shadow, and then go read your rising or your sun or your moon, which I'm just sticking with for now. You go to your houses, you know, if you know how to do all of that, you know, whatever, do your thing. But let me tell you okay, no problem. How it reads in the chart. Black Moon Lilith represents our darker, deeper natures that may be repressed or buried. So that's what it means in the chart. Okay, so let me say that one more time. Black Moon Lilith represents our darker, deeper natures that may be repressed or buried. We all have this. I think this is the ultimate shadow that's been casting throughout your chart. Every time you see the shadow work that needs to be done, you feel me? Yeah. And they've been trying to keep you away from that for so long. Keep the separation from Mama. You know, everybody, you know, want to be chaos. Everybody want to be this shit or whatever. This is where it starts. It starts with the Lilith. You know what I mean? But even in order for you to, you know, really see the info or have it stand out to you, you have to been doing your shadow work. And I don't hear nobody talking about shadow work no more. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. Because in 2020, you should have been did that shit. You know what I mean? You should have been did that shadow work. You know? You can still do it now. It's a lifelong thing. But I tell you, that shit is going to be hard as hell right now. But you should have been doing it. Excuse me. But for somebody like myself and a few other people, man, that's been doing it, like, this just stands out to me. And, you know, it's just like, oh, shit. And now instead of trying to fight that Lilith energy, which you're not going to fight it. This ancient primordial energy, you know what I'm saying? That's Mama, you're not going to fight that shit. That means you will have to undo all the work that you've been doing. You know, because Lilith, when you look at it in your chart, that shit makes you uncomfortable. It made me uncomfortable. I'm like, what the fuck? I ain't doing that. You feel me? But now when I look at it as Mama Universe, I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to merge with that. I'm supposed to merge this self with that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ever seen Lucy? Remember that movie Lucy? With the bitch that's Black Widow? And at the end, what happened? She turned into this black blob. It was over. You feel me? That's what I thought about. But I think it's a lot of things that you have to do. I don't think you can just attack Lilith, yo. I don't think you can just jump on that. Like I said, if you haven't been doing your shadow work, I don't even think you can start with that shit. You know what I'm saying? You jump in Lilith and try to do it. It's too cringy. It's going to be too hard for you. You know what I mean? I'll speak for myself or whatever. And maybe those who vibe with me, but you just can't just jump into doing your Lilith work. Like, you had to been doing your shadows as it casts shadows in each little piece of your chart and just start to knock that out piece by piece by piece by piece. And then that's why I said Lilith, like the big boss at the end. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Fuck with me on that, man. Somebody fuck with me on that, you know? Somebody fuck with me on that. Because this is what I got. Share with me what you got. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of things that I feel like you have to do before you could just attack Lilith. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's North Node and South Node energy. There's shadows there. There's shadows and knowing that there's not really 12 signs. It's only 6 signs. You know what I'm saying? It's your sign and the opposite. It's not really opposite. It's just a different sign with a different expression. Same energy, different expression. You know what I'm saying? I'll get into that another time. It's a whole nother thing. But yeah, it's just a lot of little stuff you got to do. Because every time I'm looking at Lilith, I'm like, what the hell is this? But I think that's it, man. I really do. I think Lilith is the ultimate shadow caster on your chart. And as you start to do your shadow work, which you should have been doing, you start to clean that up, and then you'll see Lilith for what it is. Because by the time now I'm looking at, I don't cringe no more. I embrace it now. You see what I'm saying? You and your shadow have to be one. You and Mama Universe, right? Everybody talking about the fucking universe. Oh, universe love me and all that shit. But have you been doing your work? It's a lot of fakers and fake ass babalaos and all that bullshit be trying to follow niggas and shit. Like, it's a lot of fake shit out there, you know? And don't nobody talk about shadow work no more. I get it. But that's the only way. That's the only way you and Mama gonna be like this if you've been doing your shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, fuck with me on that. Tell me what you think. You see the video. Yeah, you know. And every time you look up, Google Lilith and see all the fucked up shit they say about her. You know what I'm saying? Just understand that that's coming from a different perspective that's not your own. Shout out Flight Boss. Because now it's like, oh shit, they've been dogging this bitch for a minute. But why is it in all of our charts? You know, what am I doing shadow work for? To get back home, man. To get back to the ultimate shadow, to merge with that. That's what time it is, dog. That's really what time it is. You can't be judging yourself and beating yourself up because these deeper, darker, repressed or buried natures. We all do the shit, bro. You got to stop beating yourself up for that shit now. It's time to accept that shit. And the more work that you've done, the easier that it is to accept this shadow, this dark, deep natures, bro. This uncontrollable, this crazy primordial energy that these niggas been trying to dog in this 3D world. But that's literally where we come from. That's melanin, that's chaos, that's the triple black, that's Mama Universe, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And we spend a whole lifetime trying to fight this shit, trying to have this morality. You know, trying to do what's right. In this fake ass world, trying to do what's right. Wasting time. You know what I mean? And that's why they cast her, right? Anyways, man. That's all I got. I hope you stay for the whole thing. You feel me? Tap in with me. Fuck with me. Chop it up. Tell me what you got, you know. I'm not here to, you know, tell you your thoughts are wrong. We're just chopping it up, having a conversation. Let's make it conversational. But if you're not aware, get in your chart and see what your Lilith is. See what your Lilith is and watch. Read it. Watch how cringy and uncomfortable you become. And then look at all the polarities going throughout your whole shit. I just started with the rising sun and moon because most people know that's easy. Just look at what you have. You know what I'm saying? Look at the polarities on each one. And watch how it's just a little piece of the Lilith. It's a little piece. All the shadows go back to that. Watch. Mess with me, man. Appreciate the time. I will holler at you. Peace.